So God doesn't intercede. In the Bible, God intercedes, splits the sea. You asked about Nachshon or how to pronounce Nachshon. You may not know this, but Nachshon was a contemporary of Moses's. He was, in the same group that left Egypt. And Nachshon is famous for taking a leap into the water. And that's when God split the sea, because God saw Nachshon take a step forward towards godliness. And then God realized we were ready. And I take leaps of faith, as I think you do as well, knowing your story. And um, that process, that kind of miracle is not always there. And to depend on that, it can be just very disappointing. So what can I depend on? God is in the love. God is in the fact that I get to meet you today. God is in the fact that I am speaking to maybe one person out there that's going, "Oh, at least somebody's talking about how I feel."
Mhm.
And the godliness that, you talk about in our world doesn't look like there's a lot of godliness there. Didn't look like in World War II, there's a lot of godliness there. I mean, I went and took two congregations to Auschwitz to look at that ground zero because I was curious. How could something like that happen? And I do believe when those kinds of things happen, God cries with us. This is humanity doing this. And we have choice, but not always intervention. I think that's kind of made up. Maybe some are lucky enough to have some feeling of intervention, but to depend on that can be disappointing. And I need my faith. Otherwise, I don't feel like I have anything.
Mhm. Yeah, I think there's a lot in what you just said. I think it is really interesting that when really bad things happen, people go directly to, "If there was a God." If there was a God, and it's like, the question, "What is God?" does have to be answered. This idea that we are these little children and that God's always just gonna kinda be fixing our problems and saying, like we do with our children, like, "You apologize to him." But it is kind of it is a childlike way of looking at the divine and what this plane that we're in is, that there's some being out there that would just fix it all for us, and then everything would be fine. No, we're the ones. We're the pencil of God. We're the hands and feet, the brains, the creativity of God. We're all of that. We're creating this mess. No one's going to fix that except for us creating something else. And we have that power. We have the power, like you say, we all have the power always to choose love. We can choose love, even in the face of horrific war and awful things going on. But I think it always does come down to what is God? What is God? And that is a fascinating question. I will say one of my friends from seminary wrote on her Facebook page today. She talked about the evolution. I too believe the Bible is about our evolution, our spiritual evolution, our understanding what God is. All of those stories are about that. But she wrote about the evolution of humanity's relationship with God. That first God is this being that's sitting on a throne and is all everything and the prime directive. And then we evolve to something like God is in everything, and God is the energy under everything. And then we evolve to God is the activity in us, and that we are expressing, we are the expression of God here, and that we're all on these different levels. But if we're the expression, then we can use our imagination, which is the first step in creating, to imagine
Yes.
another world, imagine another way of being, and then get to work creating it.